Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video we are going to make some KFC style coleslaw. Without a doubt, my favorite coleslaw comes from Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's sweet, it's savory, it's a little bit tangy, it's creamy, and I really love that finely diced cabbage. Now, it's been a number of years since I've had KFC or their coleslaw, so I'm going to be kind of doing this from memory. I'm also going to be utilizing a technique that I showed last week on how to make a super fast, like a minute or less, creamy keto dressing. And I'll link to that up there in case you haven't seen it. But I think that's about it. Let's make some coleslaw. We'll start with half a head of green cabbage cored. We're either going to finely chop this by hand or put it through a food processor. The yield, once finely chopped, will be about 4 cups. For the cabbage, if you wanted to, you could finely chop it with a knife. However, if you've got a decent sized food processor, I recommend that instead. It makes very short work of it. My recommendation though is do it in batches. Otherwise you wind up getting some leaves that sort of dance on top while you turn the bottom into mush. We don't want to turn this into mush. We'll be doing this in 2 or 3 batches. So just break up your cabbage a little bit here, then we'll pop on the lid and give this, probably 9, 10 pulses. Let's take a look. Yep, that's about the consistency we're shooting for. So we'll transfer this to a medium-sized mixing bowl, and then we'll do our next batch or 2. To our 4 cups of finely diced cabbage, we will add 1 tablespoon of minced white onion. Then we have 2 tablespoons of very finely diced carrot. This is more for color than anything. We'll get this all mixed in, and then set it aside. The onion and the carrot are completely optional. I like the onion for the extra little bit of flavor that it brings, and I like the carrot for the extra color. But if you're looking for something super fast, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference if you leave those 2 out. For our dressing, we will start with 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, that's 120 ml, which we will add to a medium-small mixing bowl. Then we are going to whisk for probably 10 to 15 seconds. We want this whipping cream to start to thicken up just a little bit and get a little bit foamy on top. Then we'll add 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Fresh is ideal, but bottled is fine. In terms of the vinegar, while I use white wine vinegar, that's just my preference, you can try whatever vinegar you want. Have fun with the recipe, play around. We'll then whisk this together for 15 or 30 seconds, and you'll notice that it really starts to thicken up. I mean, not super like sour cream thick, but definitely dressing thick. To this we will add 3 tablespoons of sweetener. I'm using allulose. If you use something sweeter like Bocha Sweet, I would recommend just 2 tablespoons. Then we have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Sorry for the white on white here. A few grounds of fresh black pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed. Oops, overshot. And so he pauses to clean, because ants. And finally, 1/4 teaspoon of horseradish. In terms of the horseradish and celery seed, I find that in the KFC, both of those tastes are fairly subtle, which is why I used the amounts that I did. You could, if you wanted to, really kind of ratchet up the flavor, double those. We'll whisk our dressing together until it feels smooth. We don't feel the whisk going through any big globs of allulose. That's looking pretty good right there. And so we'll add it to our cabbage. Then we'll fold it together with a spatula, making sure to really clean around the edges and the bottom. We don't want any big pockets of undressed cabbage in our slaw here. Then I'm going to put on this stretchy silicone lid here and put it off into the fridge for about 2 hours. A couple things happen when we refrigerate this for a few hours. First off, the flavors really come together nicely. The onions, not so sharp. The celery seed is allowed to do its thing. The sugar fully dissolves. Also, the dressing itself thickens up just a little bit. Time for the taste test. I'm going to be having this with some brisket tonight. Got that out on the smoker right now. Oh, if you want to see the recipe for that, I'll link to that right up there too. Not quite as sweet as the KFC, but man, is it good. My wife is just off camera over here. I'm gonna see if I can get her to come over and take a taste real quick.
Hello. I gotta go back down. Colton, waiting for Grandma. Very coleslaw, yeah. Like, where do you go for that coleslaw? Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken. There we go.
I did not tell her that.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
All right, thanks.
Good job, dear.
This recipe is very scalable, so if you'd like to do a larger batch for a cookout or picnic, just use the whole head of cabbage and double all the rest of the ingredients. Again, when you're chopping up the cabbage in the food processor, do it in batches. And now, why don't you do me a favor and click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, hit the subscribe button, then tap that bell and turn on all notifications. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click that join button and see what memberships and perks are all about. Thanks for watching.